Welcome to another episode of Eat, Chit, and Dice, a fortnightly podcast about board games and sometimes food. It's been a month since we've done this, but I'm Jared, and with me right now
is John D.
John D. And John D. Do you want to deliver this line that I wrote for you?
I will try.
Yeah, you have to do it exactly like they do it in the movie.
Welcome to... I don't know how they do it in the movie.
Yeah, well, okay, so Hammond is like, he's like, all right, don't get eaten by any dinosaurs. And then the song's like, and he says,
welcome
to Jeff Goldblum.
To Cenozoic Park.
There you go.
And that's when the door, and then the door opens.
Yeah, and then the T-Rex eats the guy on the toilet.
Yes, he does.
If you haven't figured it out by now, we're going to be talking about dinosaur games. There's a lot of them. We made a huge list of dinosaur games, and
we narrowed it down so we could actually play them.
We had to pick some.
Yep. How much would it suck to get eaten while you're on the toilet?
Well, you'd be dead, so.
Oh, that's true. But man, if your last action was to hide on the toilet, I mean.
I don't think he was hiding. He was using it because his pants were down.
Were they? I know he ran to the bathroom because he was scared. But anyway, we played a bunch of dinosaur games lately. We've been posting some pictures, so you might have been able to guess what was coming.
No, it's a complete mystery. No one would have been able to figure it out.
No.
It's impossible.
I mean, I didn't even know.
I suspected, but...
So, I actually enjoyed all the games we played, obviously to different levels. I liked some of them better than others, but we can just kind of jump right in with the Great Dinosaur Rush.
Yes, the Great Dinosaur Rush. I have that pulled up right here. Here we go. Oh, I lost it. Okay, here we go. Great Dinosaur Rush. It's this one right here.
Yep, I was trying to figure out who makes it.
Well, it was published by Ape Games.
Oh, well, there we go. Ape Games makes it.
In 2016.
Designer is Scott Alms.
Mm-hmm.
With art by Mr. Cuddington.
What?
It says Mr. Cuddington.
Oh, it does say that.
Yes, it does.
Well, on BGG it says two people's names. Lena Causette and David Forrest.
Oh, well.
So that's neither of those people.
Neither of that is Mr. Cuddington.
Maybe it's like
that's
an art
inside
firm.
Joke.
Maybe.
Could be an inside joke. The Great Dinosaur Rush.
Apparently it was originally called, you're going to love this, Bone Wars. So glad they changed it.
Oh my god, I'm so glad they changed that name.
So glad they changed it.
Oh, but you did a thing with one of your dinosaur bones. It's not a family-friendly thing.
About.
It's not a family-friendly thing, so everybody can just kind of guess what he did with his dinosaur bone.
I do not know what you're talking about. So
it was a unique bone.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Actually, let's get into that. Let's talk about this game and what you do and how it works and what that thing that you just said even would mean.
Yeah. So in this game, you have a lot of different colored, just little wooden. I don't know. They kind of remind me of what are those potato chips?
They're Catan roads.
Oh yeah, they look like Catan roads. They also remind me of the potato chips that come in the.
Oh, like the potato sticks.
Potato sticks. Yeah. Yes. But anyway, so there are a number of different colored ones. There's blue, green, white, red, and yellow, and each of them represent a different part of a dinosaur skeleton. So the head, the spine, the ribs, the tail, the appendages, the neck. So these are all on a board in different hexagons, and those hexagons represent different dig areas.
Yes, they're the dig sites.
Yes. What you're trying to do is collect dinosaur bones to put together dinosaur skeletons. Each dinosaur has to have one head, one neck, a spine, a tail, an arm, and legs.
Yeah, and ribs.
And ribs. There's no specification on how many they need in each of those things, but they have to at least have, one of each of those.
Yeah,
things.
I think the only one that has a minimum is. I think with the ribs you have to have two.
Maybe, I don't know. I never made one to listen to.
We have the rules. I guess we could look.
We can look. But basically, So you can make the dinosaur however you want, but there are also dinosaur like recipes that you get that say you get extra points if you make these dinosaurs.
Yes.
And
the bonus cards.
They'll have like what's called unique bones, and those are things like scale or not scales, like fins or spikes, and additional things that go beyond the basic things that you have to have on your dinosaur.
Yeah. So play wise, you collect bones, you move to a new dig site, and then there's a mechanic called publicize where I guess. Well, mechanically, you're increasing the point value of certain aspects.
Or decreasing it.
Or decreasing.
If you don't want another
but
player to get
thematically, I
points.
guess you're saying you're doing like a P.T. Barnum.
Look at this dinosaur we're going to be showing off.
Yeah.
It's a brand new dinosaur that we've discovered.
Yeah. I think that's thematically what you're doing.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, is that you'll be like touting to the public that you've discovered a new dinosaur or something, or that you're going to be unveiling a new dinosaur skeleton.
Yeah, there is actually one really disturbing rule in this game that I am not comfortable with. And verbatim, it says, a player's bones remain in full view of players except during the build phase.
I don't want to see your bones.
So, just be careful when you play the game.
Yeah.
People are going to have their skeletons out. John D, did you know there's approximately enough bones in a human body to make one skeleton?
Really?
Yeah, think about
I
that.
didn't know that. But
Think about that.
I'm looking up the rule about the ribs.
There are some interesting choices you can make in this game. You can...
There must be at least one rib.
Okay. I thought there was one that was you have to have more than one. But spine, maybe? No.
I'm looking now. Nope. Everything says you must have at least one.
All right, well, there you go. So you can publicize the things that you are trying to increase, whether it be the ferocity, which I need the reference for that. I can't get it.
A player board? You're looking
Player board, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I've got like 6 of them now. Oh, this is just one. It's just a lot thicker than I remember. So there's different categories of dinosaurs. There's the size of the dinosaur, which is dictated by the number of rib bones that you have. There's height, which is neck plus longest limb, so you count them and add them together. There's the length of the dinosaur, which is the number of bones in the spine plus the number of bones in the tail. There's ferocity, which is the number of bones in the head plus the shortest limb. And then there's unique bones, which are the blue ones. And those are the ones that John D made a joke about earlier because you can put them wherever you want to.
Jared was the one that made the joke.
They are...
He did it. He made a unique bone.
You can use them as spikes on your tail or as fins on your ribs or weird horns and weird teeth. However you do it.
It was a lot of fun. Like... I had a lot of the blue unique bones and
You had all of them except for one.
I did. And I had a couple of the wild ones, which the only rules with the wild ones, you can use them in any part of the dinosaur, but you can't, your wild bone can't be touching 2 different types. So
Yeah.
it couldn't be touching a blue and a yellow. It had to only be touching blue or only be touching yellow.
Yeah, I found them to be useful, like if you're wanting to make a super long tail. You
Or
can just
neck.
put that in the middle of that.
Yeah, that's what I found them useful for. Or making really long legs, because I
Yeah.
was trying to catch up to you with your longest neck and appendage or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, because I kept publicizing, because you get to do an action as well on your turn, whether that be publicize, donate, where you return some bones to try to get rid of a negative point token that you have, research, where you draw an extra bonus card, sabotage, where you have to take one of the negative tokens, but you can mess with some stuff. Dynamite, you also have to take a negative token. And steal, just straight up steal, where you also take a negative token. So if you do any of the bad actions, you take a notoriety token.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's ways to get rid of those.
Yeah, if you donate bones, you can get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think that's it, actually. That's the only way. I tend not to do those actions because I would rather focus on just purely publicizing for points.
I think I did at one point. I think I stole a bone from one of the neighboring dig sites because I really needed it for what I was trying to do.
Yeah, you wanted one of the bones from there. I think it was I don't know, probably a unique bone.
It was
I
probably a
don't remember.
unique bone. But I think that's the only time I did one of the bad things. However, we did tend to negatively publicize the other people's stuff a lot, which thematically I feel like you were coming behind the other person and going, don't look at his dinosaur's not cool, look at mine.
Yeah. Everybody knows that long necks were so last year. What's in right now is extra rib bones.
Yep.
And my dinosaur has 400 rib bones. So come check it
and
out.
some unique bones.
Yeah, but you get to build you actually physically use the pieces to construct a dinosaur to your imagination. You get to do that 3 times in the game. The first round, your dinosaur is going to look like garbage.
Yeah, my first dinosaur. Like, I've shown my husband pictures, and the first one, he was like, Johnny, that's not a dinosaur. That's just a bunch of things that you laid out. But my second and third dinosaurs looked like something. My second dinosaur was the awesomest. I've posted a couple of these pictures on our Instagram, and I'll get some more posted to show off. I think I've got a picture of at least one of Jared's dinosaurs.
I think so.
So I'll post a few more pictures to show off our awesome dino creations.
But yeah, you do the field phase, you do all those things that we said with the actions and stuff, and then the build phase where you have to construct your dinosaur. And then exhibit is when you actually score the points based on what you've been publicizing, or I guess depublicizing.
Yeah. Based on like where, it's just game wise, where the cube is sitting.
There's
and whoever has the.
There's a chart
that
you can manipulate. I don't know if this game is in print right now. I was looking, and there's one on Amazon for $100.
Oh, that's a lame.
So I don't know that it's currently in print.
Well, I liked it enough that my hope is that Ape Games will bring it back. Maybe do a reprint.
Yeah, there's one that was listed on the BGG marketplace a year ago for $40. But I'm sorry, 2 years ago. Yeah, no telling if that's actually still available. But if you want it, it looks like you could probably shoot this guy a message. So get yourself a copy. Or don't. Maybe you hate dinosaurs, in which case, keep listening to this episode because it's only going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, dinosaur games are all the rage, don't you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. John D., when was the last time you played Guess Who?
Well, as a matter of fact, I played a dinosaur version of Guess Who quite recently.
Well, that's not what I was going for, but yes, that's where we were going to get eventually. Have you ever played subjective Guess Who? Where you ask questions like, does your guy look like I could take him in a fight?
I probably have.
Does your guy look like he cries himself to sleep at night?
Honestly, I probably have asked questions like that.
Well, but yes, to answer your real question, Dinosaur Tea Party.
Yes. It was...
From 2018, from Restoration Games. It's a remake of a game that no one's ever heard of. That's not true. It's called Who's It? It was the original name of the game. It was basically Guess Who, but they rethemed it to be about dinosaurs in a tea party. It was a little more involved than just straight up Guess Who, but it's basically Guess Who multiplayer with dinosaurs.
The art is adorable. I absolutely love the art in that game, which I remember, I want to say they were at Geekway last year with the game, but I could be wrong. I may be remembering incorrectly. But wherever it was that I saw the game the first time, it was the art that really drew me in because it's really cute. But as far as actual gameplay goes, I think the rules tell you to do something that seems silly and lame.
Oh,
but
role playing?
Yeah. As an adult playing the game, I feel like it's what made the game fun.
Yeah, because you can't do very many things on your turn.
You have to ask like specific. You can't just, in regular Guess Who, you can basically ask anything you want.
Yeah.
But in this one, you're trying to figure out the specific attributes that the other people's dinosaurs have. So you really can only ask specific questions. You can be like, does your dinosaur are they wearing a hat? Are they eating food? Are they drinking a drink?
Yes, the specific questions, the dinosaur traits are in a green, purple, or orange room, striped or spotted skin, or neither, eating or drinking, or neither, wearing a hat, a flower, glasses, jewelry, with a pet, showing spikes, a tail, or teeth. So they're all going to be yes or no questions. So on my turn, I might say something like, John D. And you're supposed to role play this, but I'm not going to for the purposes of this.
I will.
You're supposed to say something like, John D, is your guy in a yellow? Sorry, yellow is not one of the choices. A orange room, because everyone is dealt a roll card, and the roll cards are secret. But in the center of the table, there's a 4x5 grid of the same cards, the matching cards, and your goal is to look at those cards on the grid and go, all right, John D said no, she's not in an orange room. So she puts a token in front of her that basically says not in an orange room. And you look at it and say, all right, so she's one of the guys that's in the green room or in the purple room. Unless
there are 3 dinosaurs that have like weird rules. One of them always lies.
Yes. One always says no, and
the other one alternates.
Yeah,
if they
that's
say
the
yes
most complicated
first,
one.
Yeah, if they say yes first, then they're going to say no next, and then they're going to say yes again, and then they're going to say no again.
Yeah, they just yes, no.
Yeah.
So it's possible. We played, I was the guy that always says no, and no one caught on for a little while, which I thought was really interesting because after the first 3 questions, there were no dinosaurs that were on the board that my things could have possibly been.
Yeah, I can't believe none of us caught that sooner. Anyway.
It was, I was not wearing a hat, I was not eating, and I was not in an orange room. And I was looking around at all the dinos, and I was like, oh crap, all of the dinosaurs have been eliminated. Let's just hope that nobody notices, nobody looks at the grid and tries to figure out who I am. Because
and we didn't. Finally,
No.
I was paying attention to all the tokens in front of Jared, and I was like, well, he's answered a lot of questions, and he's never said yes once.
Yeah, what really got me was, I was not in an orange room. And then I was asked, are you in an orange, or are you in a purple room? And I said no. And then I was asked, are you in a green room?
Well, and so here's the funny thing is that I was the one that asked that question. And I dumbly asked it originally because I wasn't paying close attention to what Jared had in front of him. So it wasn't me that asked. I mean, it sounds like something dumb I do, but I was the one that guessed who you had. So
then you couldn't have guessed because I would have said no.
Yeah.
Because if the question that you ask, if the person answers yes, you get to guess again. You get another question, or you can straight up guess which. You can accuse them of being a character.
That must have been what I did because I'm pretty sure that
because you couldn't have done that if I said no. So Kat must have asked me. It must have been Jeremy and Kat that asked me.
And then they were like, "Oh crap!" It was it's probably I just remember I guessed, and I mean, it's a real cute game. The thing that I found fun was the thing that we said we weren't going to do, and we ended up doing it because we were being silly. But it tells you that you should, be silly and role play. So, like, you'd say...
It says politely ask another guest if they have a certain trait.
Or, like, you could say, stripes are all the rage in Paris. Do you have stripes on?
Oh, heavens, no. I don't have the face for a hat.
Yeah. So... at first we were like, we're not doing this. And we totally ended up doing it. And for me, that's kind of where the fun in the game was to hear all the dumb voices that everybody was doing.
I don't think I used the same voice 2 turns in a row.
Like Kat, her voice were, aha!
Oh, God, that was the worst.
Ah!
Look at this. You're breaking the mic.
I know. What's really funny about that particular, when she was doing that voice... I actually ended up guessing her dinosaur based on the voice she was doing because I was like, oh, she's got to be doing like a bird or like a pterodactyl to be doing that particular voice. And I ended up being right. So I paid attention to the few questions she'd already answered. And then I was like, okay, it's got to be one of the flying ones that has those things. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's a cute game. I definitely would recommend it if you're playing it with younger gamers.
Yeah, it's absolutely a filler game, though.
Oh, yeah.
It does have 2 recipes in the back, though, for tea sandwiches and oatmeal shortbread cookies.
It does.
Which, these are just cucumber sandwiches. So.
But the shortbread cookies.
I'm not a fan of cucumber.
I like shortbread cookies, so.
Yeah, but they're oatmeal cookies.
Oh, I thought you said shortbread.
I did. They're oatmeal shortbread.
Oh, that sounds weird.
Yeah, oatmeal cookies are the worst cookies.
You know, I like oatmeal cookies okay, but what always happens is I take an oatmeal cookie thinking that I've just picked up a chocolate chip cookie, and then I take a bite and
nope,
I'm like,
they're
oh,
raisins.
Nope, these are raisins.
Yep.
It's like if I knew what I was taking a bite of, I would be excited maybe. But thinking you're going to get chocolate chips and biting into a raisin, it is a sad, sad surprise.
Yeah, it's very upsetting, which
It
is
is.
why I only eat Oreos. No, that's not true. I eat other cookies, but
I've seen you eat other cookies.
I eat Girl Scout Do-si-dos.
Oh, those are good.
The best. The
Yeah.
best.
They're good. Jared, how are you at playing sports?
And I told you this before, and I'll tell you this again, and I'll always tell this to you. I don't know anything about basketball unless it was a feature in NBA Jam.
Right, which NBA Jam took a lot of liberties with basketball. But yeah,
I know about hockey. Hockey, I know.
Well,
But
and I know about soccer, which is also, there's a goal on either end and half court. And so I know about soccer because my daughter played soccer. But yeah, so the reason we're talking about this is because we played a dexterity game called Dino Dunk.
it's a 2018 release from Twin City Games. And woof, we are bad at sports.
So
That's
bad.
what we kept blaming it on. Well, we're just really bad at sports, but
Then we realized that we had a lot of the rules wrong, and it was specifically because we were bad at sports.
Yeah.
And the rules kind of assume that you already know the basketball rules.
right, and we only know NBA Jam.
So here's the thing. Jared was the one that read the rules. And as we were figuring out how it was really played, he's like, well, the rules didn't say that. Turns out they did.
You know I'm editing all of this out, right?
You better not. That's not fair. To be fair, this should have been a simple game. So I can totally understand how you missed those things because they also weren't extremely clear in how they were said. They were
Yeah.
kind of thrown in the middle of a paragraph. It wasn't.
And also, there was one rule that we forgot about that I definitely read, and then we forgot about, which was activating two dinos.
Yes,
Because
which then
we
we
were just
misinterpreted it.
Flicking the same guy over and over again,
We
which you
totally
cannot
were.
do.
So yeah, there was that. And then you absolutely read the rule about how when a dinosaur goes out of bounds, they come back in where they went out, and you just can't use them in that turn. And we forgot about that.
Yeah, I read that.
You did, I
And then
remember.
we didn't do it.
But
We
then
never did it.
we
They
were just
just-
knocking each other's dinosaurs off of the court. So yeah, when we finally figured out how to play the game and play it right,
Well, how do we play the game, John D?
so it's basically basketball rules. There is a long board that is actually a play mat.
Yeah, it's a neoprene playmat, double-sided.
And you get different size discs that represent your different team members. So you get one big disc, and that's something like a T-Rex or one of the bigger dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3 medium-sized discs,
Yeah,
and
like
those
a
are
Stegosaurus.
Triceratops, like medium-sized dinosaurs. And then you get a small disc, and that is like a raptor.
I think pterodactyl was one of the small ones too, even though that's not a dinosaur. But
Well, it's from that era. One of the eras.
the dinosaurs that exist in this game did not live at the same time.
No, they didn't.
Hundreds of millions of years, guys. Dinosaurs existed for a very, very long time, and T-Rex wasn't friends with all of the dinosaurs, and not just because he was a huge carnivore, but also because he didn't live at the same time. The movie Jurassic Park is scientifically inaccurate, and I know that's really hard to hear.
Yeah, I don't think all those dinosaurs came from the Jurassic period.
No, they did not.
Some of them came from the Triassic period.
Yes,
But
and Cretaceous.
yeah, but the way the game is played is each turn you get to activate or flick 2 of your team members.
Yeah, and then beyond that, it's basically exactly basketball.
Yeah.
No, there's
I
more
mean,
to it than that. But,
okay, so the different things that they can do.
But yeah,
in
they
the
have
base-
powers.
Yeah, we played the very basic version without the extra powers.
Yeah, there's 2 ways you can play it. There's exhibition mode, which is all of the dinosaurs of a size are functionally the same. So all the mediums are functionally the same. There's also every single dinosaur has a unique power. There's cards, and We were having enough trouble.
Apparently, yeah, we couldn't get it anyway. So the big dinosaur, like the T-Rex, your big disc.
Yeah, I think you had the Allosaur and I had the T-Rex.
Yeah, I think so. Those ones can do a slam dunk, which is actually probably about as difficult as it is in real basketball, because you have to put the little tiny ball disc on top of the dino disc, and then you have to flick it, and the dinosaur has to land inside of the volcano graphic, and the ball still has to be on top of it. So you try flicking a disc with another disc on top of it and not have the disc on top of it slide off.
That's how I ended up winning.
It is.
Doing all those slam dunks.
The medium-sized dinosaurs can shoot. They can pass the ball. And all the dinosaurs can just move.
Sorry for all this noise, guys. I'm trying to get...
He's looking through the box. The small dinosaurs, they cannot shoot the ball. All they can do is move and pass. But they're really fast because they're smaller and easier to flick them and get some distance out of flicking them. So...
No, I didn't even... you still have some of my cards. I tried to pass Johnny some cards. No, actually... Well, then they must still be in the box.
So, I mean, and...
Oh, here we go.
Outside of, like, the different things that the different dinosaurs can do, it's basically basketball-style rules. If you flick a disc and you hit the dinosaur that has possession of the ball, then it's a foul, unless you manage to only hit the ball and not hit them, and then you're stealing the ball. If they foul, they get a 3 point.
The ball's an egg.
Yeah, and if they foul, they get a 1 point foul shot, or 2 foul shots.
2 foul shots, the same way you would in basketball.
Yeah,
if you sink the first one,
then you don't get the second one.
It's impossible.
It's really hard.
I got
finally
one.
did it once. Yeah.
Yeah, we both only were able to ever do it one time.
Yeah, it's really hard because if you flick it hard enough and it doesn't go in, or you flick it too hard and it bounces off the back. So yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, in the exhibition mode, the large dinosaur, which is for the red team, Spinosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rex, can do Dino Dunk. So yes, John D explained that. The medium dinosaurs, which is a bazillion dinosaurs, they can do a thing called a bounce pass, which was actually super useful.
It was.
You place the ball within 1 card length of the dinosaur token before you pass it, and that is super useful.
It really is.
They can also do a layup shot where you do a move action, and if they have the ball and then overlap the scoring zone, it's worth 2 points because they're doing a layup shot versus, actually having to flick the disc from somewhere on the board.
Yeah, and scoring is just like in basketball. If you are behind the 3-point line, then it's a 3-point shot. If you're within that certain area, it's 2 points. Or it's 1 point if you're doing the foul shot.
Yeah, and they are volcanoes.
Yes.
The baskets are volcanoes.
Yes. I thought the game was we had a lot of fun playing it. Even when we were playing it wrong, we had a lot of fun playing it because it's a dexterity game. You're flicking discs, so that's going to be a fun thing to do. But when you are sports illiterate...
I don't know that illiterate's the right choice, but yeah, definitely close to the right
sports
choice.
Dumb. Yeah, so we definitely had some rules issues, and once we figured out how to play it, it really wasn't as much of a rule book issue as it was an us issue. So,
although the rule book is not,
it could be better.
It's not the greatest. There's a lot of
assuming that you know how to play basketball.
Yes, and there's a few places where a term is defined and then referenced in a way that is a little bit confusing instead of just spelling out like, here's how you do this. It says, refer to the chart on page 6 and view standard placement rules. Just tell me. Just tell me you place the ball.
Yeah, but overall, I enjoyed the game. I would play it again, definitely.
Oh, I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play it again with the full...
Oh, yeah.
The full rules.
Now that we actually know the basic rules, then it's totally worth selecting team members based on their abilities.
Because I bet there's some decent strategy there with figuring out what teammates work together.
Yeah, like for us, it was just a matter of knowing which dinosaurs, like which size would do what,
Yeah.
and hoping that we don't flick them completely off the board.
Yeah, a lot of my strategy was move my T-Rex up closer, use bounce pass on a medium guy to get the ball to the T-Rex. On my next turn, go for the slam dunk.
We both kind of hit a point where we were purposely fouling each other.
Well, I wasn't purposely fouling you. I was trying to steal the ball, but I kept hitting you instead of the ball.
Okay, there was at least one time that I fouled you on purpose.
Yes. There definitely was at least one time that you did that on purpose.
Yep. And I think in real basketball, there's probably some kind of penalty for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think there is in this one. But again, that's one of those things where they don't quite clarify that in the rules. So we just decided there wasn't a penalty. Other than the penalty is the fact that the other guy gets a special shot and you can do nothing about it.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about this? And this might just be because the audience is so limited. This is an 8.0 on BGG. I think it's a great game.
I do too.
But
I
8.0 seems...
I'd put it closer to like 7.
I think this is one of those games where if you play it, you like it, you'll rate it high.
Yeah.
Versus like a lot of games where... I mean, and even then, it's not like all these ratings are high. Like there's a bunch of 5s and 6s. There's a 1. So, yeah, this just goes to show what I'm saying is if you like this game, you are going to rate it highly.
Right.
If you only kind of like it, I mean, I think the lowest real actual rating here is a 7.
And I think that's fair. The only way I can see somebody flat out disliking this game is if they don't like dexterity games.
Yeah.
And if you don't like dexterity games,
Then
you're
you're not gonna
probably
play
not
it.
going to play this. So if you like dexterity games, you're going to like this game. The theme is fun. The components are really nice. And, dexterity-wise, it's just a fun game to play.
Yeah, I mean, a few of the rules are vague and have a lot of room for interpretation.
They do. But, I mean,
Like, I think we house ruled a bunch of stuff because it was like...
At least one thing we did. I don't remember what it was now.
I mean, there are just parts of the rule book where, maybe that rule's in there. It's not like this is a big rule book. It's only like 5 or 6 pages of actual text and then...
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like some of the rules were just very, very ambiguous.
I did too. But, with a game like this, that isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, if you want to play like a strategic basketball simulation game, you're not going to play this anyway.
No.
If you want to play a
Really-
real goofy dexterity game where dinosaurs are playing basketball,
Then you're going to play
then
this.
that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I liked it. I think that anybody that likes dexterity games 100% should try this one out.
Yeah, a lot of the actual real reviews seem to suggest that the exhibition mode is a good way to learn how to play it and to get a grasp of the mechanic of how the dinosaurs work. But the real magic is when you're actually building your team with individual dino powers.
And I look forward to trying that.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're just not going to do that today.
Nope, because we had enough trouble trying to figure out how to play the game in the first place.
Yeah.
Because we're sports dumb.
I think willfully ignorant is better. Because, like, I've been to a baseball game. I played baseball when I was little. I don't care about baseball. Same with hockey. Except I do care about hockey. But basketball? NBA Jam is the only exposure to basketball that I have. I just don't care about basketball.
I'm very, very limited. I have some exposure to basketball. My daughter played it for like one season in elementary school, and my nephews play it. So I've seen like a handful of kids' basketball games.
Sure.
And that's about the extent of my basketball. That and NBA Jam. I totally played
Yeah.
the crap out of NBA Jam.
I don't know. Like hockey, I enjoyed hockey because skating, I really like skating. It's a lot easier to move on ice skates than it is to physically run up and down.
Right. And I like soccer all right. I mean, I'm still not going to like go watch a soccer game for fun.
Yeah.
But when my daughter was playing soccer and also my nephews play it, I don't mind watching it. Like, I actually understand what's going on, and it's not a completely boring sport to watch like a lot of the other sports I think are.
I don't know. I don't know anything about sports. If you know about sports and want to tweet at us about how we're dumb at sports, please tweet at us at Eat Chit and Dice. You can email us at podcast@eatchitanddice.com. We have a Facebook page.
We have Instagram.
We have Instagram if you want to take pictures of your dog and forward them to us.
Yeah. We also played a game where each player takes on a different role. It's a 2-player game, and it's called Raptor. And Raptor is from
2015 from Matago, which I believe is Asmodee now.
no, I think Matago is
yeah.
still their own.
No, Asmodee.
Oh, is it Asmodee?
Distributed in North America by Asmodee Editions LLC, 20 Gateway Drive, Suite 400, Plattsburgh, New York.
Well, the game is distributed by Asmodee.
12901 USA.
I think Matago is still their own. I think Matago has something to do now with being investors at the very least in companies like Colossal Games, maybe, and
I don't know.
Maple
French.
Games.
Well, this was made by the two Brunos. Bruno
Bruno
Cafala
Mars?
and Bruno Feduti. Yep.
You knew I would laugh at that.
Yep.
I want that last name. It's fun.
You can change your name.
Okay. So anyway, Raptor, one person plays as the scientists, the other person plays as the raptors. The scientists are trying to capture at least 3 baby raptors or make the mother raptor fall asleep, like completely tranquilize her. And then, so the raptors are
Just
trying to eat the scientists and if 3 babies get to safety, then the raptor would win. So the raptor the raptor can very easily eat the scientists. So the scientists actually you can get more like reinforcements out, and the raptor doesn't get to have reinforcements, but
it's all card driven.
Yeah, it's card driven.
You have
and they're
1 through 9, and they do different things.
Yeah. And they're cute little dinosaur minis and scientist minis.
I did like that the scientists had their own. They all seem to have their own unique sculpt.
Yeah, they all looked different. There were both male and female scientists, which I thought was awesome.
I don't know. I didn't see the scientists that close. I saw them from across the table. But
yeah, I played as the scientist, and Jared played as
look at
the
that.
raptors.
That is a lady.
Yep. I think there's like 2 ladies, maybe, or 3. But
just 2.
the way the game is played is both players have a number of cards that all have numbers on them. So 1 through 9. And you shuffle your cards, put them face down, and you draw 3 cards. And then both players will play a card face down and then flip the cards face up. And whoever
simultaneously reveal.
Yeah, simultaneous reveal. Whoever played the lower number gets to take whatever action is associated with that particular card. So there are actions like eat a scientist or not shoot. Yeah, eat a scientist is an action, not a card. The actions are things like reinforcements for the scientists, or wake a baby up is one of the ones for the raptor.
Yeah, let me just get this out and look at it here.
So the person that played the lower number is the one that gets to do the action associated with the card. Then whoever played the higher number gets a number of actions that there's like a list of like 5 actions you can take. And say if you get a number of actions based on the difference between the numbers. So if I played a 3 and Jared played a 5, then I get to do the action that's associated with my card. And then Jared would get 2 actions off of that action list.
You played a 3, then you get to use Jeep. Move 1 or 2 scientists as many spaces as you would like in a straight line, as long as they don't run into an obstacle. And then there's an asterisk. Oh.
It just explains what obstacles
yes,
are.
rocks and active science. Yes. Yep. Rocks and active scientists are obstacles for both shooting and moving. Fire, frightened scientists, and raptors are obstacles for moving. Fire doesn't block Jeep movement, just like in real life.
Yeah. So, and the different actions that you can take if you aren't using a card action, like for the scientists, it's things like shoot a baby, it's with tranquilizer guns, not with guns that kill. So you shoot a baby, or you shoot the mama, or I can't remember what all 5 of them were. You've got the thing in front of you.
Scientist moves into a neighboring space. A frightened scientist is set back up. Scientist captures a sleeping baby. Scientist shoots a baby. Scientist shoots the mother.
Okay. And then the raptor has a list of actions as well.
The baby raptor moves in a straight to a neighboring space. The mother raptor moves in a straight line. The mother raptor kills a scientist. The mother raptor wakes up a sleeping baby. The mother raptor removes a fire token, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but...
Jared decides she was peeing on the water.
Yep.
Or peeing on the fire. So, the game's pretty straightforward. It's easy to learn. It's quick to play. We played the game. I think it took us like 30 minutes. It took us like maybe 40 minutes, and that's with learning how to play the game and then playing it. It was really quick, and, I'd play it again. It's a filler 2-player game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was a lot of strategy for very little payoff. Now, maybe that's just because it was my first time playing it.
And you tend to put a lot of thought into, like, you are very much a trying to think 3 turns ahead kind of a player. I didn't find that to be the case as much for me, but I make the mistake very often of being short-sighted and just, what do I want to do this turn? So that worked out well for me in a game like this, because in a game like this, you really can't put too much thought into what you're going to be doing in future turns because there's just no reason to.
That's fair. I mean, you don't know what card the opponent is going to play unless you play the card that lets you know ahead of time what the opponent's going to play, but there's only 2 of those, so.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. It's not something that I would be like, hey, I want to play this all the time, but I would play it again.
Yeah, I'm not in a hurry to play it again, but I'd play it again.
Yeah, it was fun, and as if you're looking for games that are just 2-player games, it's a cute game. Are there better 2-player games out there? Yeah, but there's a lot worse 2-player games out there, and the theme of this one and the quality of the components, I think, makes it worth having. If you like dinosaur games and you're looking for a 2-player game, I'd say get it, play it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, and now what you've all been waiting for.
Because you can't do a dinosaur episode without talking about this.
We're going to talk about this for the next 6 hours. Dinosaur Island!
Because, of course, you knew we would talk about that. We asked about dinosaur games on Facebook. Everybody said Dinosaur Island. So, of course, we were already planning on that anyway.
It wasn't like it's a secret that Dinosaur Island is...
Probably the most well-known, most popular dinosaur game in existence, right? At least right now.
For right now. I mean, Dizzy Dizzy Dinosaur was on the list, but, that got voted down. Dinosaur Island is a 2017 release from Pandasaurus. And, there's too many pieces in the box.
Oh, my God. So when you play this game, especially if you have I have the extreme version. Jared has the first printing deluxe version. Yeah. You are 100% going to play another game when you're done with the game, which is called How the Hell Am I Going to Get This All Back in the Box?
Yeah, there's too many pieces. I know sometimes people will complain, like, I punched everything out and I can't get it back in the box. I have to throw away the insert. That's not going to help you.
I threw away the insert. I still had trouble getting, it is back in the box, but... the lid will not go on completely.
Mine will not go back in the box at all.
You don't have more stuff than me.
I dumped all the expansion stuff. So I mixed all the expansion stuff together. So I've got the expansion dice. I have all the dice together.
Yeah.
I have all the dinosaurs together.
Yep, that'll do it.
All of the tokens, everything.
I have not incorporated
because I have the 5th player board in there too, which is not going to fit.
No, it won't. I have not incorporated my expansion into it, and there's no way you can't. Like, Pandasaurus needs to create. I would buy a deluxe just a box.
Yeah,
I would 100% buy just a box.
Their Kickstarter community manager said that there are no plans currently to do another Kickstarter project in relation to the game. However, that doesn't mean that someone like Broken Token doesn't have plans to make something, because they did say during the second Kickstarter that they've had a lot of requests for some kind of storage option that
which would be a hard thing for me. I really like to keep my games in the original box. I don't like putting them in special boxes.
I don't have a problem with it as long as it's functional and it looks nice. Like, okay, Small World is... I put it in a box that isn't fancy. It's just a box that says
the
like
broken
Family
token,
Garden.
The broken token ones aren't fancy.
Right,
They're just plain birch boxes,
But
and I think they're boring.
The Pandemic one has a cool logo with like the virus thing on it, and the
Yeah.
Flashpoint one has the Flashpoint logo and says like Flashpoint Fire Rescue.
Right. I mean,
So
I
those
do
are the
have,
replacement boxes that I have.
like my Star Trek Catan is in a special box.
Yes.
Because I have the autographed box. But my Star Trek Catan box is, for me, an exception to the rule because I had a reason not to use the original box. And also, it's really specially designed. It's not something that's for sale. It could never be for sale because the license isn't, nobody has it. But it's got like the logo for Star Trek Catan, and it's got a quote from Star Trek. And, it's really cool.
Well, I also have a reason for wanting to use an alternate
To get
storage
everything
solution.
in the box.
Because, John D., I have it spread out. Look, I can't.
You do. But
It's in 4 boxes. It's in the lid and the bottom of both the base game and the expansion.
Yeah, I
it's
don't know.
spread out on that table, and I can't do anything with it.
yeah, like mine, I know I may end up doing that,
There's
but I definitely
1,000 baggies.
You cannot put the expansion in with the base game ever in the boxes. That's just not going to happen. But I will say that the components are
Yes.
good.
Now that let's stop complaining about how they give you. How dare they give you that much stuff? How dare they give you so many dinosaurs and so
jeez.
many metal coins, which are not in the retail version. So don't get your hopes up, because you have to just use like plastic. No, I'm sorry. They're
Chits.
Yeah, they're chits. But anyway, that complaining that there's too much stuff aside, the game's awesome.
Oh my God, it's so awesome.
It's a little bit of a lighter worker placement game. I mean, it's not a super heavy, crunchy Euro.
Right. Now, I will say, when you first open the box and you see the sheer amount of stuff
Don't
that
get
comes
freaked
with
out.
it's intimidating. Even Jared and I were intimidated, and we actually, instead of trying to get through a huge, like, bajillion page rule book, we opted to watch was
yes.
it Rado?
No, we watched Rodney from Watch It
Oh
Played.
yeah, Watch It Played.
Who is a great guy. Every interaction I've ever had with him, he's super nice.
Same.
But he's Canadian, so it's kind of like part of his blood.
Yeah. But he does very good playthrough videos, and we opted to just watch his video, which got us going in the game very quickly. We watched him. He told us how to set up, and then he told us how a turn works.
And then we were free to just use the rule book as a reference, which was great.
And the game, once you start playing, the gameplay is actually
Everything
really
makes
simple.
sense.
Like, there are 4 different like boards that you play on or play off of.
The Phase 2 board is not in the retail version.
Oh, that's a big
So
bummer.
yes, you just have to lay them out.
But it's still there's a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3, and a phase 4.
Yes, let's get into that.
They're labeled.
This is probably the most complicated game that is in this episode.
Yeah.
Just by sheer virtue of how much stuff there is.
Yeah.
So it is a worker placement game. You are designing a dinosaur park a la Jurassic Park. And the way that you do that is by getting DNA, transforming that DNA into dinosaurs, building the dinosaurs, building the enclosures, building other things. There's roller coasters that you can build. There's hot dog stands. There's T-shirt stands. There's
All the things you would
all
want to
that
put in a
stuff.
theme park.
So the game is very nicely broken up into phases. So in the first phase, you roll these chunky dice. They're, I don't know what size they are.
They're big.
16 millimeter.
They kind of remind me of the same dice that they have in what's that Star Wars dice game? Mm-hmm. It's those size dice.
Yeah, they're chunky. I don't know if they're 16 millimeter, 18 millimeter. I don't know what they are, but they're nice thick dice. So you roll those, and then in turn order, you have some scientist meeples that you place. I guess they're chits in the retail version, but yeah, you place them to claim dice, or you can claim dinosaur recipes, or you can
Increase your cold storage.
increase your DNA storage. And then once that's done, then you go to a market phase where you can buy new like hot dog stands and stuff. You do all that stuff.
hot dog skins. You can
You can hire employees.
or you can like make things better in your lab.
Yeah, you can increase your lab board has some empty spaces that you can add to, which is phase 3, where you do another worker placement phase, but you do it on your personal board. So that's when you're spinning the DNA to actually build the dinosaurs, or you're having guys
It's like your little
fortify.
lab workers.
Yeah,
your lab workers are doing stuff.
You can fortify your security.
You can build a dinosaur. You can get monies.
There's a lot of things that you can do, and you can personalize what things you do by buying new tool areas.
Yep.
And then phase 4, park's open to the public. People come in, and you realize, oh crap, I should have put more dudes on security that turn
because now my dinosaurs are eating my visitors.
Yes, because you have to worry about the threat level of your dinosaurs versus the security level of your park.
Yes, and there's also the fact that in the scientists in phase 1, when you're claiming the dice have little pips on them.
Yes.
And
they're not molded, but they're printed.
Yes. So there's these little pips on them, and whatever the highest number of pips left that on a die that hasn't been claimed, that's going to add to your threat level. And I'm going to tell you now that even with 4 players, there's going to be the high pips left. And so then you've got your threat level already from the dinosaurs that you have in your park. And then you're adding like 3 to that. And sometimes you just can't get your security up high enough, or you just don't think about it. And then your dinosaurs are going to eat your visitors.
Yes. Because as one would expect, a Tyrannosaurus Rex is a more threatening dinosaur than a Stegosaurus would be.
Yeah.
So just because your park can handle building Stegosauruses and Triceratops does not mean that you should rush out and build, all of the scary dinos.
Right, and every single dinosaur you add is going to add to your threat level. Whether it's a little dinosaur or a big scary one, they all have higher. Like I think in the base game, the highest threat level dinosaur was like a 3.
Yeah.
But then if you get the expansion going and you're playing with
there's a 5.
Yeah, I had one that was a 5.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I had, and I would have not normally taken that one, but it was the end of the game, and it was the only dino recipe that was out there that I could make in the final turn. So you know what? I did it, and I had a 5 threat level dinosaur added to my park.
Yeah, you kind of had to, because the way that the end game is triggered is there's like cards that everybody is working towards. And
objective cards.
The objective cards, yes. And it might be something like have all the spaces in your park filled, or build 3
dinosaurs in one turn.
Yeah. So, and your starting dinosaurs don't count because you start with a dinosaur.
You start with a dinosaur,
but that dinosaur is not
recipe.
Worth anything.
Yeah. Like people can visit him, and you can add more of that dinosaur, which is really useful towards the beginning of the game. Because the number of people that come to your park and you get money and points off of those people, that correlates directly to how cool your park is.
Yeah, because every dinosaur has an excitement level, and the excitement level dictates how many people want to see that dinosaur.
Right.
So if the dinosaur has an excitement level of 3 for every single one that you build, 3 more people will come into your park. And I've been telling people, don't think of it as
only 3 people want to see your dinosaur. We were thinking of it as like each little people.
They represent like 1,000.
That's the way I was.
So just because your park only 3 people come to your park, no, like 3,000.
And that means
or
the
3
dinosaur is
million.
going to eat 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Ooh. There's also these hooligans.
Oh, they're the worst.
So whenever you're getting visitors, there's a bag full of little meeples, and you draw a certain number of meeples out that equals your excitement level. And there are a lot of the regular visitors, and there are like 10, I think.
It depends.
I guess it depends how many people are playing. But there are also hooligans in there. Hooligans, as you would guess, are basically troublemakers. They hop the fence, why would you hop a fence into a dinosaur park? That's a bad idea. But they hop the fence, they steal stuff or whatever, thematically anyway. So basically what happens is you have to place them first before you place any of the other visitors. You do not get money or points off of them. They're just taking up room in your park. And it sucks.
Yeah. And when the dinosaurs break out and eat your visitors.
Oh, they eat the visitors before they eat the hooligans.
Yeah.
Because the hooligans are like throwing people out of the way, and they're going to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, so you might be like, oh, I got 3 hooligans this turn. That's fine. Some of my dinosaurs are going to eat people anyway, but they don't eat the hooligans first.
Nope.
The hooligans are too smart. They're too slippery. If they were able to get into your park for free, they can hide from the dinos. I
Yep.
guess. I don't know.
I kind of see them like throwing people behind them. They don't have to be faster than Dinosaur. They just have to be faster than the other people.
Yeah. I don't know. John D. So I know we were talking about negatives already, and now we're talking about positives. But I want to. Now we've talked about the base game. I want to talk about the expansion a little bit.
Yeah.
It adds some basically new components. It adds a 5th player board. It adds some new dice. It adds water dinosaurs. I didn't feel like the water dinosaurs or anything.
So the novelty of the water dinosaurs was cool, but I felt like they had higher excitement levels. So that was cool because a water dino of the same amount that it would take to build another dinosaur, they're going to have higher excitement levels. But they have crazy high threat levels. Almost all of them do. And a lot of times...
There was one that was worth no points.
But it had a really, really high number of victory points on it. So you wouldn't get any... Like, it wasn't worth... People... I can't remember what the deal was with that. It had high victory points. There were a lot of, like, weird water dinosaurs. The novelty of them is what made them fun. And I can see them strategically maybe making a difference if you're willing to try to mitigate their extremely high threat level versus some of them not scoring points but having high excitement level because having more people get you points. But they're definitely more of a strategic thing, and definitely, I don't know that they add a lot to the game.
I don't know that they add really anything. I mean, it's nice that they add another option for you as far as like what dinosaurs you can make, but I didn't feel like they added really anything.
Yeah, it wasn't more of a novelty thing, definitely.
Now, having said that, I'm not going to split them out. They're going to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Because, whatever.
If you don't want to build a water dino, just don't build a water dino.
Yeah.
But I also am really on the fence about the idea that it adds a 5th player. I honestly feel like the sweet spot for this game is going to be 2 or 3 players. 4 players, it was fun, but we only played the medium version of the game. I cannot imagine the long version of the game with 4 players. It's a fun game, but there are just some games that no matter how much you like them, if they go too long, they're not fun anymore.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I feel like this one, 4 players, the long version, might push a little bit more to the side of, okay, this game's too long. So I'm not entirely sure that I would want to play the game with 5 players.
Okay.
And not that I won't. I will try it. I will 100% try it with 5 people, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. But I just feel like it's really going to make the game unnecessarily long.
I don't know that the length is the problem, is the concern that I have, so much as if you're playing with 5 players, it's not even like there's that much downtime.
Not really, no. There is some when you're waiting for people to decide what they're going to do in the science part of the game.
Phase 1?
The phase 1.
Phase 1 and phase 2.
Phase 1 and phase 2 are the time when there's going to be downtime. Phase 3 and phase 4 you all do at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just I know more dice will be out with 5 players.
Yeah, because it's 2 dice per player plus 1 plus anything that comes from any other reason.
Right. But I don't know. I think there potentially could be a lot of issues with playing with 5 players. Potentially. I can't say for sure because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like 4 is the most I'd want to play it with, at least from what I know of the game at this point. Oh,
maybe phase 2 board does exist in the current retail version, because I'm looking at a listing here, and there is a phase 2 board in there. So it may have been the first print run didn't have it, but the second one now does. Might have. So that's helpful.
Yeah.
But it does look like you get all the same for the dinosaurs, not individual unique sculpts for all of them. It looks like it's all the same dinosaur. It's all the Triceratops.
That's what I thought. You just get, but then if you have the Extreme Edition, then you get a bunch of different types. Like I had compy. No, the compies were in the there were compies, and there are raptors, and there are
if you have the
Diplodocus.
Kickstarter version, oh boy,
There's so many different types
sculptures.
of dinosaurs. Yeah, they're fun. They're really cool. They're all injection molded, and I think as far as injection molding, they're kind of low quality.
Yeah, they are.
But they're still fun dinosaur meeples.
There's a lot of mold markings on them.
Yeah, but they're still dinosaur meeples, and
let's see here.
I
Totally
loved
liquid.
playing with them. I loved seeing them on my board.
Yeah, it actually it looks like if you buy the retail version of the expansion, that you don't get water dino meeples. You just get
The water dino, it's a bummer. The water dino meeples are the one thing that makes the water dinos really, because they're a different color than the rest of the dinosaurs. One of them looks more like crab people from South Park than a dinosaur, but yeah.
it doesn't look like you get any new.
Oh, that's a super bummer because I like the water dinosaur meeples. They're cool.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you have the opportunity to get the Kickstarter version of this,
it's worth it.
it's way worth it.
Yeah. I mean, when the Kickstarter was up, we talked about it, about how, the Extreme Edition or the whatever they call it, it was like $25 more or something. It is so worth it.
And actually, so I've been a little critical of this. Having the first edition, it felt like I got a lesser product because there were some issues. Midway through production, they changed the colors of some stuff, and those changes were not reflected in the printed material. So some of the meeple colors were wrong, and that was a little confusing because in the rules for mine, the hooligans are gold and the regular patrons are yellow.
Oh.
In the actual production, there are what I received. I got pink meeples, yellow meeples, and purple meeples.
Yep.
And that was confusing because purple meeples weren't even anywhere in the rule book because they were like a Kickstarter thing. In John D's printing, they're still referred to incorrectly, but the cards at least are the right color.
Are correct, yes.
As of today, they put out a Kickstarter update for first edition backers to get the new materials that properly reference the cards colored, or the hooligan color on the cards, and getting an additional slap bracelet first player marker.
An additional one?
Yes. So the one that you have is different than the one that I have.
Really?
Yes. You have a newer design. Yours is like extreme design.
Yeah.
And if you backed both Kickstarters, they are supposed to send the extreme one to the original backers because we wouldn't have backed the base game again.
Right.
So that's kind of nice. I emailed about an updated rule book, and that was a week ago. Haven't heard anything back from them. So at time of publishing, is what they say in the real news, we have not heard anything about whether you can get a revised rule book. But
Here's crossing our fingers.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. I loved Dinosaur Island. I thought it was really fun to play. I would 100% play it a lot again.
Yeah, if we were still doing 10x10s, if we were doing a 10x10 in 2019, this would be on there.
Yeah. And then I would add it because I like it and I know that I'd be playing it with you anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm glad I own the game. I will definitely play it more and more. So I don't regret spending all the money for the Extreme Edition. And if you like worker placements even a little, get this one. 100% get this game.
Yeah, I wish that I don't regret it, but MeepleSource was running a Kickstarter to do a full replace all of the plastic dinosaurs with colored dinosaur meeples. It was a little bit pricey, and I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to put it in the box anyway, so I passed on it. But man, it was so tempting to get all those meeples. It's like 1 million meeples. Dinosaur Island is a really great game, and I know some people have been critical of it because it is lighter. It is not very heavy, and if you like heavy Euros, I like heavy Euros. But this is a different game. This is a light worker placement game with dinosaurs where you make your own Jurassic Park. And it's everything that you want it to be.
So there is a pre-order for the MeepleSource 167-piece complete upgrade kit for Dinosaur Island and Totally Liquid expansion. It looks like there is a pre-order. It's $195. But it's got a lot of stuff in it. So if you want it, it is a pre-order. It's obviously, because it's a pre-order, it's not available for immediate shipping. It looks like the estimated shipping date is November 2019. So yeah, if you have $200 that you want to spend, you should, look for that. It's on meeplesource.com.
Yeah, the Kickstarter for that same was $178 plus, whatever shipping. So it's not like, you missed out on much. I don't know that there was anything that was Kickstarter exclusive in this. I don't think the MeepleSource does that.
Yeah, I mean, because I see there are some things that aren't in. And I'm guessing they worked with Pandasaurus on this too, because they actually have the Pandasaurus meeple as well. But they have petting zoo dinos.
Yes, those are in the expansion.
And eggs and goats and colored version of all and it looks, are they painted as well?
I think they usually do heat transfer.
Okay. So yeah, they're worth the money if you have some, the money to spend on upgrading your game like that. They're really cool looking.
Yeah. I may cave on this and get them.
Maybe someday if I have the money, I would. I don't see it.
It's a lot to spend on some meeples, but
it is. I'm a sucker for meeples, but they're super cool. So, yeah, think about doing them. Moving on, though, there are some actual dinosaur games on Kickstarter right now.
What?
It is called Dinos Not Assembled. Thematically, I find it sounds very similar to the Great Dinosaur Rush. I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same, but in this one, you're trying to excavate dinosaur bones. Instead of them being like little sticks, in this case, they are dinosaur bone tiles. You're trying to get the different dinosaur bone tiles, and then you'll have dinosaur cards that are basically recipes for dinos, and you're trying to get the right tiles to make the dinosaurs. And then you want to exhibit them. So there's a museum board, a dig site board, a dig bag, and I think if I remember right, you're drawing the tiles out of the dig bag to get your dinosaur bones. And it comes with dinosaur meeples. We were just talking about cool dinosaur meeples, and it does have cool dinosaur meeples.
I'm all about meeples. I'm all about dinos.
So this one is like set collection. In fact, it's 100%. It's set collection. It's hard you can't figure out when you're looking at their Kickstarter, you can't figure out how the gameplay works unless you watch a video, because they decided not to explain it in writing on their Kickstarter page. They only used a video. So you have to watch a video from Be Bold Games. She does a really good job of explaining it in like less than 2 minutes. So it's not a real long video. The art's real cute. I don't know if I'm going to back it or not. Probably not, but I can only back so many Kickstarters at a time, and I'm already backing one other Kickstarter that I'm really excited about. So, but if you like dino games, if this one goes to retail by some chance, I'd still be willing to buy it, or maybe later on I might look at it when it's in pre-order, because it looks real cute. So that one is called Dinos Not Assembled, and it is from Thing 12 Games.
Yep.
The Kickstarter that I'm super excited about is a relaunch of a Kickstarter that we've talked in the past about. It is called Dark Side of the Mine.
Yes, we did talk about that.
We did. This one's from Flying Lemur Game Studio. This one, we've talked about it before, so I'm not going to get into like a lot of detail. But in this one, you're trying to mine from a asteroid, and there's always going to be a dark side of the asteroid, and that dark side is going to be rotating. And you don't want to get caught in the dark side of the mine, because there's a lot of stuff you can't do because you can't communicate. You can't use your communications when you're on the dark side. So thematically, it's a good game. It offers you a lot of choices in your turns. And it's a really solid game. I really like it. I really like the theme. And I really hope that it hits its funding this time. They have 15 days to go as of the time that we're recording. And they're just under halfway funded. And I will just mention a couple of their Kickstarters that are up right now. We aren't going to talk about them. We really don't have the time. But if you're looking for some Kickstarters to back, there are some really solid ones up right now.
Yeah.
Root
Back
is a
in
really
that.
popular game, and there's an expansion Kickstarter that's up right now. And we talked about the Jabberwocky from Jelly Bean Games. We talked about how that one was going to be coming up soon, and it is up right now. It can be played with Lady and the Tiger. And it also can be played by itself. It's a game. It's like lots of little mini games in one game that use the same components. The art's really cool, and it's available right now as well on Kickstarter.
Well, there you go. We'll have links to some of those, or maybe all of them, in the episode notes on our website.
Yep. But we're out of time. So
No, we're over. Look, it's fine.
yeah. But Jared,
Until next time.
Oh.
What?
Oh. Until next time.
You can eat Chit and dice. Eat Chit and Dice is an independent production of Swin Media and is distributed under a Creative Commons license. Attribution, non-commercial, share alike 4.0 international.